Hey, X. Coach was mentioning just how, Keyshawn is really started to take the top off the defense a little bit here in practice. And I know you're one of the leaders of that room. To see him kind of come along here the last couple of practices, I'm sure is encouraging for you guys as a group.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Keyshawn's been doing great, man. He has great ball skills, super fast, so to see him really stepping up has been just a tremendous, relief to the offense.
And I wanted to ask you about Malik Curtis because, so many people have mentioned him now being kind of a standout, here in camp. Curious what makes him a tough, cover. I don't know how often you've lined up opposite him, but, when he's on, guys, what do you think his strengths?
I mean, dude's going to always be the fastest guy on the field, his blazing speed. And the thing I just see is he really cares about football. He really loves football. So whenever you're going up against a guy that really loves the game of football, it's hard to beat.
Go to Luke Chaney from All Hurricanes. Luke.
Hey, Xavier. So Coach mentioned a little earlier that Brashard Smith has really stood out in the wide receiver room. Given that you play a lot with him in the slot, what has really stood out to you about him?
I mean, again, a dude loves the game of football. Brashard has amazing talent, tremendous talent, and he's always asking me questions. And again, at this level, you have to just bring people with you. And that's really where the good teams, stick together and obviously do better. Heading into December and January when you have guys, whether they're backups or just guys playing next to you. Just bringing those guys next to you is just the most important thing. He's been doing a great job.
Go to Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan.
Hi, Xavier. I want to know just I've been asking everybody, pure excitement level. I mean, I know you're very serious about everything and Mario is too, but you've got to be excited, right? We're getting close. I mean, what are the emotions like? What's it like for you personally when you go into Hard Rock, you run onto the field and it's the opener?
Oh no, for sure. I mean, stepping on the field for the first time in Hard Rock, for like a whole year, it's all obviously things are going to be, high intensity and everybody's going to be excited, but it's really just about executing what we've, practiced and just staying locked in, enjoying the moment, but also taking advantage of the moment as well.
And also, I've been asking everybody about Mario. I even asked Mario. I mean, he's coached here as assistant. He went to school here. He played here. He won national championships. He's got it. I know he's serious. I talked to him about that and intense. But what do you think it's like for a guy like that coming back as the head coach that first game?
I mean, again, Coach Cristobal's, been through all the championships he has been through. He's done it here, so I mean, just to run through the smoke, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a great feeling, but I could tell you right now that Coach Cristobal is just focused on winning games.
So maybe if you guys win, you think he'll stop being that serious for 5 minutes?
Yes.
We'll go now to Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam.
Hey, Xavier. Kind of in a similar vein, but like, what's been preparing for the first game of the season been like under Coach Cristobal and his staff, and how does it compare to other coaches you've played for?
I'm not going to compare it to any other coaches because they're all at a collegiate level, so they're all doing really good, obviously. But I just feel like the offense is just totally prepared for every look they're going to give us, and we're just ready. We're just fully prepared.
All right, Cassandra, we'll try again. Cassandra Clayton from New Era Prep. Mike's still not working, Cassandra. We'll go to David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David.
X. Mario was talking about just obviously position battles still being settled this week. Obviously, you start off in these early season games. A lot of times, a good chance to get a bunch of different guys in the games. How much do you feel like, I guess a wide receiver in particular, where it seems like so many guys are involved, how much do you feel like these first few weeks are kind of an extension of position battles and figuring out who the guys are going to be?
I mean, again, guys are just competing their tails off, so we really won't know who's a starter until game day happens. And again, starters are just, people that start the game. Guys are going to be, the roles are, just be ready whenever your number's called. So we just all got to be ready, know the defensive looks, and just execute at a high level.
And we haven't really been able to be out there that much lately, but I know early on in camp, it seemed like Michael Redding was the guy who was just increased playing time, increased reps with the ones. Just what have you now at the end of camp here? Just what has kind of stood out about him to you and the way he is? I know he's had some injuries too, so just the way he's kind of progressed to this point.
No, for sure. I mean, again, we're in the same class, you know, so we grew up. This is our third year together, and I could just tell you, you know, he's gonna try to be the hardest worker in the room, and the kid's very intelligent. You know, he gets good grades and all that stuff like that. So he's very on top of everything he does, and I trust him a lot. You know, I trust him that if I'm running some type of out route or something like that, that he's gonna block for me and nothing wrong is gonna happen. I have full trust in him.
We got time for 2 more questions for Xavier. We'll go back to Manny Navarro, then we'll wrap it up with Marcus Benjamin. Manny.
Hey, X. Tyreek mentioned, you know, that they kind of had a defensive players only meeting, I think before one of these recent meetings, and coach has been talking about, you know, you guys kind of policing yourselves. Curious if there's any examples of the offensive guys doing kind of similar things where, you know, maybe meetings or little extra things that aren't on the schedule.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you know, the leaders in each group, each position group are grabbing their guys, you know, watching the film. Like I forgot who I was telling earlier, but there's never been one time this year where, you know, we just watch film by ourselves. You know, we're always grabbing one another and just making sure that we're all on the same page and just ready to, you know, execute at a high level again.
All right, last question for Xavier comes from Marcus Benjamin from Kings County. Marcus.
Can you hear me, Xavier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just wanted to ask about the younger defensive backs that you've seen in fall camp. If there's any guys that you've seen kind of pop as far as the younger DBs.
I mean, you know, those guys are all ballers. There's a reason why they're at the University of Miami, you know. Those guys, you know, just flying around the field, every single one of them. There hasn't been one that hasn't been a standout, if I could put it that way, you know. All those guys are flying around the field, really good ball skills, coachable, and are ready.
All right, Xavier, thank you for your time. Everyone else, it's all for